In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, walking through multiple potential upcoming snowstorm opportunities despite the overall milder air that is on the way. So we're still looking to potentially cash in on some snowfall despite that. Let's go ahead and dive into things and let's just take a look at it. This is obviously a late night special. We're going to be diving into the day tomorrow on Monday, January 22nd. We do have the potential for some ice across portions of the plains and the Midwest. This is mostly going to come for Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, and Iowa. We do have some snowfall on the very northern extent of this up there for Michigan. And out west, plenty of storminess. We have two lows here. A primary low up here is a 997. Secondary low down below is 1,005. Certainly kind of hitting that double header out west. We have this western jet stream that we've been talking about, very, very strong, and this is pulling storms from the Pacific Ocean onshore to the west a lot more than we would typically see due to this very, very intense jet that we're dealing with. That is the main contributor to this upcoming pattern. As we reach towards Tuesday on January 23rd, what you see is that a lot of this actually moves a little bit further inland for the Rockies here, where we have some snowfall across Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico here. We also have this kind of eastern snowfall going on, with some going on for Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York up there. We're certainly seeing plenty of storms. As we move on towards Wednesday on the 24th, what we see is this kind of surging Gulf pattern that I've also been discussing for probably about a week now. We've been anticipating this pattern. We still have these very strong storms coming on shore. We could still see snowfall for the Cascades and Sierra Nevadas down there. But what we're seeing is a bit of a kind of ridge in the west here. This is what your jet stream is doing. And this is allowing for this Gulf air, very humid, very stormy, and very warm, to move northward much further than we would typically see. This is a lot more similar to what you see sometimes in March, but especially in April and May. But we're talking about this in late January. So certainly not what you're typically expecting to see on January 24th, Wednesday, like we're looking at here. But here we are. We're taking a look at this. By the time we reach Thursday, we see a lot of the same. Everything's kind of moving a little bit further eastward. We see that a lot of this is moving into the Great Lakes and upper Midwest. A lot of it is also spreading into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. This is a very, very widespread rainy pattern. Again, more similar to what you expect in the springtime overall than the wintertime. So certainly one of those very rainy, warmer days. By the time we're taking a look here at Friday on the 26th, we do see some showers and thunderstorms along the eastern seaboard here. Some down here along the Four Corner States and Southern Plains. And another storm system perhaps there for the Northwest for Friday on the 26th. By the time we're reaching Saturday, nothing much has changed too much. We see plenty of rainfall happening out in the Northwest. Maybe some thunderstorms or showers happening here across the deeper South. Some marginal cold air has made its way into portions of the central states and the Northeast here, but this is not going to be too far below normal. This is going to be pretty marginal, like I just mentioned. But let's keep going here. I want to take a look because we do get some interesting activity. We're kind of getting a little bit of cold directing itself at the Northeast. We get this southern stream kind of directing itself here. And as this kind of all comes together in this area here, we do have the potential late month here to see some potential snowfall in the Northeast. So let's take a look at that. It all starts on the 28th into the 29th. That's going to be Sunday into Monday. We see a 999 millibar low pressure center perhaps offshore of the Mid-Atlantic, causing snowfall for Pennsylvania, New York, northern New Jersey, including New York City, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and up through Maine. Kind of similar to what we've seen a couple of times this month. Wouldn't be too surprising to see this. What we call this is a transient cold shot, and what that's going to mean is it's not really something substantial, but it is enough to bring enough cold air to support snowfall here. We get just enough ridging out west, a small dip in this jet stream here, enough to bring just plenty of cold air to provide snowfall. Not too severely cold, pretty close to what's normal. And for the people up in the Northeast, your normal is usually pretty close to freezing, especially during those low temperatures. What we see happening as we approach the 31st here, which is going to be the end of this model run, is this continued massive ridge out west, which I'm certainly paying attention to this feature here. And we're finally taking a look at some potential cold moving down into the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast by the time we're taking a look at the end of the month. I just put out an article for our standard members out there in Prestige Weather, which, by the way, if you want to join that, it's in the description, pinned comment down below. And this was primarily the focus. Even though it's a warmer pattern, we are taking a look at some colder times and snowier times within there. And matter of fact, we're looking at a potential pattern change around this time frame, the 31st into the 1st. That seems to be like the kind of time frame we're watching for another pattern change, perhaps in the colder and snowier direction. Let's go ahead and take a look here at your total precipitation. No surprise after all we just saw that there is plenty expected for the western seaboard here. We're taking a look at, in the grays, pretty much a 1/10 of an inch or less. Your greens are a 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Blues are 1/2 an inch to 1 inch. Your yellows are 1 inch to 2 inches. And reds are 2 to 5 inches. And then those browns being 5 inches plus. Which we are seeing that for the Northwest here, where we have frequent storminess. And then also from Texas through the rest of the Gulf states here, we see another area of lots and lots of precipitation. Again, much more of what you would expect to see during perhaps May, June, or even July. But again, we're seeing it here in January. So a very, very, very moist pattern here, basically supported by the Gulf of Mexico. We're seeing a very mild winter pattern here, much more of what you'd expect to see along the Gulf Coast, and that's extending northward into the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. I expect plenty of 60s and 70s, guys. From this point until the 31st, there is possibilities of seeing those warmer temperatures. So certainly if you get a sunny, warmer day, which it's going to be hard to come by sunny times here. So certainly if you do see sunny and warm times here in this upcoming pattern, definitely take advantage of it. It looks to be mostly cloudy and rainy on those warmer times, so that's why I say it the way I do. If it happens to be sunny during it, you're definitely very fortunate, so take advantage. Total snowfall here, we're looking out west, and obviously for the Rockies, the Cascades, Sierra Nevadas, we're expecting plenty of snowfall. I wouldn't say necessarily above average amounts. I would say this is very, very close to what you typically see. And then for the upper Midwest, Great Lakes extending into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, we do see a bit of snowfall, very, very close to average, if not slightly below average amounts of snowfall. It just depends on where you're at. I would say the purples and pinks for areas like Connecticut, Massachusetts, even Pennsylvania and southern New York, that's going to be probably closer to above average. Some of those other areas, like areas along the Great Lakes, like Rochester, New York, here in the 2 to 6 inch range, that's definitely going to be on the below average side of things. So it just depends. The GFS model gets us 15 days out, and we certainly see these snowfall totals for the Northern Plains, Rockies, Cascades, and Sierra Nevadas definitely picking up here after February 1st. So keep that in mind, that we do expect an uptick in the snowfall out west. Not only that, we begin to get some more minor to moderate snowfall events here across the upper Midwest, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. So we should be back in business starting on February 1st. Now, I know this isn't the most exciting outlook, and we're not seeing anything too crazy yet, but this is how it always starts, Of course, anything can happen from this point forward, but typically the models have to warm up to an idea, and I think that this is a situation where there's a lot to be excited about for February. There's obviously some things that are having me pump the brakes a little bit, but it definitely is up in the air to a certain extent, but there is some promise there, and I am excited to see what the month of February brings, and I think you should be as well. Anyway, be sure to subscribe, as we do upload weather videos just like this one every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload, so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.